In life, there are moments when the path ahead is covered in fog, and no matter how hard we try, we can't see what's next. Our plans fall apart, our expectations are crushed, and our sense of control disappears. It's in these exact moments that we are presented with a choice: panic or trust. Trusting God in every situation is not a passive act of denial. It's an active decision to surrender our fears, our need to know, and our illusions of control to a power higher than ourselves. It is the deep recognition that no matter what is happening around us, God's plan is unfolding with divine precision. The human heart is often restless, always searching for meaning, reassurance, and certainty. But God calls us to a deeper kind of faith, a faith that doesn't wait for circumstances to change before it finds peace, but one that chooses peace despite the circumstances. This kind of trust isn't built in moments of comfort. It's forged in seasons of pressure. Just as coal becomes a diamond under intense pressure, so does faith become stronger under adversity. Trust is not a magic switch you flip. It is a discipline developed through practice, prayer, and patience. We don't learn to trust God by reading about it alone. We learn by living through situations where we have no choice but to trust. This is why struggles often come before breakthroughs. The very challenge you're facing might be the instrument shaping you for your purpose. What feels like a delay is often God's way of preparing the foundation so that when the blessing arrives, you're strong enough to hold it. A real life example of such trust can be seen in the journey of former President Barack Obama. Raised by a single mother, moving frequently in his early years and grappling with issues of identity, belonging, and purpose, Obama's early life was anything but easy. He wasn't born into privilege or influence. There were moments of doubt times when his path seemed uncertain and the obstacles unscalable. But he learned to anchor himself in hope and conviction. He trusted that his life had meaning beyond his circumstances. He didn't allow the absence of a traditional support system to define his potential. Instead, he leaned into his purpose, trusting that every experience, no matter how small or difficult, was shaping him into the leader. You would one day become. Obama often spoke about the power of faith and hope. In his 2004 keynote speech at the Democratic National Convention, he declared, "Hope in the face of difficulty, hope in the face of uncertainty, the audacity of hope." That wasn't political rhetoric. It was a reflection of his personal philosophy. Trusting God doesn't mean you won't be afraid. It means you move forward even when you are. It means believing that the detours in your life are not dead ends, but redirections. Obama's journey from a struggling student to the president of the United States wasn't just a testament to ambition. It was a story of persistent trust in something greater than himself. The truth is, we all face internal voices telling us we're not enough, that it's too late, that we've missed our moment. But those voices are liars. When we trust God, we silence the noise of fear and tune into the voice of destiny. It may not all make sense now, but when we look back, we'll see how every no led to a better yes, how every delay protected us from premature success, and how every disappointment was a setup for elevation. Trust is the lens through which we can look at life, not as a series of accidents, but as a divine script where every scene serves a purpose. It is only in trusting God fully that we find the courage to continue when nothing around us is working in our favor. Struggles are often misjudged as signs of failure, but they are actually evidence of growth. Trees grow their deepest roots not during times of rain, but during times of drought. In the same way, we grow spiritually and emotionally when we are challenged, not when we are comfortable. Trusting God doesn't mean you will avoid hardship. It means that in hardship, you will have peace, purpose, and the promise that nothing you're going through is in vain. Every delay, every closed door, every setback is part of the preparation process for something greater. The struggle is the training ground where faith becomes stronger than fear. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Think about a time when things didn't go as planned, yet somehow in the aftermath, you ended up somewhere better. That wasn't coincidence, that was divine orchestration. When we trust God, we stop seeing problems as punishments and start recognizing them as preparation. There is a purpose to every pain, but that purpose is only revealed through perspective. Faith gives us the lens to see differently. It helps us understand that storms don't come to destroy us, they come to cleanse us, to remove what we don't need, and to build what we do. Barack Obama's rise was never just about politics. It was about overcoming inner doubt, societal expectations, and racial barriers that for centuries limited how high a man who looked like him could rise. When he lost his first congressional race in 2000, many would have stepped away in defeat. But that loss became a moment of redirection. Instead of quitting, he took time to reconnect with his purpose. He studied more, refined his message, and deepened his understanding of the people he wanted to serve. That season of loss prepared him for a much larger platform. Without that failure, perhaps the 2004 Senate win and the 2008 presidency might never have happened. Obama didn't just trust in his skills, he trusted in something bigger. He trusted in the timing of his life, in the unseen forces working behind the scenes. That trust gave him the resilience to face fierce opposition, the grace to rise above criticism, and the strength to keep moving forward. His journey mirrors our own in many ways. We may not be running for office, but we are running our race. And like him, we need to trust that every detour has a purpose. Just because it's not happening now doesn't mean it won't happen. God's delays, not God's. Denial. There will be times when people don't believe in your vision. They'll question your dreams, doubt your intentions, and label your hope as foolishness. But you weren't created to live by people's approval. You were created to walk in divine purpose. Trusting God means you keep building even when no one claps. You keep planting seeds even when there's no harvest yet. And you keep climbing even when the mountain feels too steep. The faith walk isn't always visible to others, but it's always seen by God. And when the time is right, what you've been building in the dark will shine in the light. Living a life of trust means stepping into each day with the mindset that something good is being worked out for your future, even if you can't see it yet. It's easy to trust when everything is going smoothly, but real faith is built when life doesn't make sense. Trust means walking forward when you don't know where the path leads. It means doing the right thing even when the results are unclear. It means holding on to your values even when shortcuts appear tempting. True purpose is discovered not in success alone, but in the way we endure, overcome, and keep going. One of the greatest enemies of purpose is comparison. When we look at others and wonder why their journey seems easier, faster, or more glamorous, we weaken our faith. But when you trust God, you understand that your journey is not meant to be identical to anyone else's. God's plan for your life is customized, not copied. What someone else receives in a moment might take you years, but when it comes, it will. Be tailor-made for your growth, your character, and your destiny. Purpose unfolds in pieces, not all at once, and every piece requires trust. Barack Obama's story reminds us that purpose isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. He faced critics, endured harsh headlines, and navigated personal trials, all while leading a nation. Yet through it all, he remained grounded in the idea that he was serving something bigger than himself. Whether it was advocating for hope, expanding healthcare, or simply modeling grace under pressure, his trust in a greater plan was visible. His life proves that greatness isn't built in the spotlight, it's refined in the shadows. You don't have to be in the public eye to make an impact. Every act of faith in your own life matters as you move forward. Remember this. Trust is not a one-time decision. It's a daily discipline. You wake up and choose to believe. You step forward not because the way is clear, but because you know the one who goes before you. You keep showing up not because success is guaranteed, but because faith compels you to finish what you started. God is not done with your story. The very chapters you're tempted to skip are the ones that will inspire others later. Your struggle has value. Your pain has purpose. Your waiting has worth God, so trust Him in every situation. When the doors close, trust him. When friends leave, trust him. When the answer is no, trust him. When the storm rages, trust him. Because even when you can't trace his hand, you can trust his heart. And when you finally reach the mountaintop and look back on the journey, you'll see that every valley was necessary, every trial was a teacher, and every detour was divine. Trusting God doesn't make life easier, but it makes life meaningful. And in the end, that's what matters most.